So I shot my clothing brand's e-commerce photo shoot at a studio in Manhattan, New York City. Come with me to see how we did this as our first ever official Triplicity photo shoot. If you don't know Triplicity, it's a New York-based clothing brand I built as the designer with my identical triplet sisters. I'm Arianna, and my sister Athena and my wife Amanda's to the left right here, came with me to the shoot. My other sister Andrea was not able to join us that day. So here we are in the lobby of my Manhattan apartment building with all of the clothes and all of the supplies that we need for the photo shoot. And we are currently waiting for the Uber to take us there. And now we're in the studio and we've hired an e-commerce photographer, two models, and an assistant photographer. And we're just setting everything up right now, getting the makeup table ready. We also hired a makeup artist. And so before everybody gets there, we are just kind of setting up our stuff. And the photographer is going to be setting up his stuff as well. And fun fact, I used to work in fashion at a clothing brand where I also ran the photo shoots. So many years ago, back when I was doing that, I actually met an amazing e-commerce photographer. His name is Edwin, and I reached out to him when we needed a photographer for our e-commerce shoot because I knew he did an amazing job and I knew he would do an amazing job for us. So he was excited to join, and we always have so much fun together. He's such a good time. And we also hired two different size models, a size small because that's our fit clothing size, and a 2XL. And that way we are able to show a range of sizes for Triplicity. But right now we are just getting all the clothes up and ready, and then we need to do some steaming. We need to let everybody in. We have a lot in front of us to do. Right now you can see me and my triplet sister Athena waiting for the elevator. There is a lot that goes into setting up an e-commerce photo shoot, and then there's a lot that goes into prep the day of. Like we don't want the clothes to look wrinkled, and we don't want them to sit weird, and we don't want to be missing shoes and accessories, and we don't want the model's hair to be a mess, and whatever it might be. So it definitely takes a lot of planning beforehand and a lot of planning the day of. So now we're just kind of catching up with everybody and getting settled. So this is our photographer, Edwin. He's talking to me and my triplet sister. We're trying to make a plan, figure out what backdrop color we want for the e-commerce photo shoot. And actually, he had the idea and the suggestion to pick like an off-white color. So he was saying that he's just so sick of the same old plain boring white background, and we still want it to be neutral so that matches our colors and isn't anything too crazy. But I really liked that idea, and I felt like it would make us stand out a little bit and just make it a little more interesting. So we ended up picking this. It actually looks yellow here. It's not really yellow. It's more of like a warm off-white color. I mean, it is like kind of tinted yellowish, but it's not a yellow background. It's more of like a neutral beigeish color. And it ended up looking really amazing with the photos. So I'm glad that we went with that suggestion. And as you can see, one of our models is getting ready in the makeup chair, and the other one is sitting in front of the camera. And here's my wife. She's doing some behind the scenes shooting with our camera for fun. And everybody's kind of just running around getting set up. We've got our model Morgan in the makeup chair. We've got our other model Hillary in the makeup chair. And our fantastic makeup artist is doing her thing right now. Meanwhile, I'm just steaming to get the clothes looking absolutely perfect. So actually here I am. I put on one of the Triplicity vests. It does not look good with my outfit. Just ignore that. The whole point was we were just getting the lighting set up and testing out how everything was looking in terms of the lighting and whatnot. And now we have our actual model, Hillary, in the Louise in blush. And she is our first up to start shooting. Now we've got Morgan in the spotlight. And the way that we did it was when one model was shooting, the other model was changing into her next look. And we just rotated back and forth until we were done. And it did take us like a full 8 hours to do this entire shoot. We had a lot of styles and all of the different color variations. So we had like white, black, oat, and camel. And we had 3 shirt designs, 2 skirt designs, a blazer, a trench coat, a cropped trench coat, and another cropped jacket, and then the Louise dress, mini dress, and then a midi dress as well, and a pair of cargo pants in 2 colors. So we had a lot of styles to shoot. There was a lot to get through. I came in prepared with a spreadsheet with every look that we wanted, each combo, because the way that the wardrobe is designed, it's supposed to be done so that like you can mix and match any piece and they look great together. That's like the whole point of the sort of capsule wardrobe style. But certain pieces we needed to make sure were shot together, and certain pieces were, everything needed to be shot on its own. So it goes kind of like this: you put them all in an outfit, you shoot front, back, side, details. And if you then need to add a jacket or switch the top or the bottom, they go and do that. And then we bring the next model in and we go back and forth. Also, if there are different details, then we shoot that as well. So for like the double zip top, we want to open the zip at the top, open the zip at the bottom, keep it fully closed, keep it fully open, and show all the different ways you can wear it. And then not to mention the fact that all of our bottoms have adjustable waist tabs, so you can wear something high-waisted or low-waisted, which is just more photos to shoot, but it was fun. For the makeup specifically, I sent the makeup artist a Pinterest mood board that was very like minimal, sort of, I don't know, almost clean girl kind of fall, but also timeless and seasonless, because we are going to be selling these pieces all year round and we didn't want it to feel too specific to a season. Definitely just wanted to like bring out the model's features and just have it be super flattering but very natural looking. I think that's huge for Triplicity. We definitely don't want, we like the natural look, but still very chic and glamorous. So somewhere between quote unquote natural and like chic and glamorous. And I think that the makeup artist, she did an amazing job. She definitely saw the vision and I think she nailed it. The vision for Triplicity really is capsule wardrobe pieces, timeless, minimal, but versatile, definitely functional, and just something that you can throw on day or night. As cliche as that sounds, I feel like a Triplicity girl, she's going to the office and then, maybe grabbing a drink after work, or on the weekends, she's going to get a coffee at a cafe or running around town, and you want to be able to wear your wardrobe anywhere, anytime, and look amazing and feel amazing and be comfortable, and have options. So for the photo shoot, everything is really dressed up very chic with heels and things like that, just because I feel like that is a great visual representation of who Triplicity is. But the idea is like you should be able to look at these pieces and know that you can totally dress them down with a pair of sneakers, a sweater, a pair of jeans, whatever it might be. And I really do think we nailed that, because it does feel very like capsule wardrobe, and the models just did an amazing job, and our photographer captured everything perfectly. So 10 out of 10, no notes, would do this whole thing over again exactly as is. The thing about shooting in a studio with paper like this is you don't want to scuff up the paper, because the models are walking on and off the paper with shoes, and yes, there's retouching afterwards of the photos, but it really is a much bigger pain and more expensive if the paper is just a mess and needs to be cleaned up. Plus, we like to do videos as well, and we don't, you can't really retouch a video the way that you can a photo. So anytime I went on the paper to do like adjusting the waist tabs or tweaking something, I would be barefoot because I didn't want to mess up the paper. You'll notice that we also have a lot of snacks on the table over there, and really that's just because my triplet sisters and I used to do a lot of modeling and like events, projects where we were kind of just like standing around all day, not being fed, and like not being treated. Like the modeling industry is, I think, a lot harsher than like with acting. They always have crafty and stuff like that, but a lot of times with modeling gigs, it's not the same. So we wanted to treat our models and the crew like family, and really just let them know how thankful we were, and just have it be a super positive experience for everybody. So we filled the table with snacks, and we got coffee and Dunkin' Donuts and things like that. And then we actually ordered pizza for everybody for lunch. And that way, everybody was fed and in a good mood, and we just had the best time. The models asked me what I want in terms of how they should sort of pose and what the vibe should be, which is a great question because every single clothing brand does it differently, and some want it to be very neutral and some want it to be more friendly, and some people go crazy like Zara with all the crazy poses and things like that. And so what I said to them was, I would love if they could bring a combination of like a very friendly, positive energy, but still serving. Like we still want it to be like chic, cool girl, it girl, easy, not like super big cheesy smiles and like too bubbly happy, but friendly and accessible and positive, because I really do want Triplicity to feel warm and inviting and for anybody, but also chic and serving as well. So that is sort of the way that I described to our models. And I feel like they both brought exactly that. And they really did bring their own energy and vibes, which is exactly why I chose them. And actually, another fun fact is I found both of them on Instagram, was scrolling through looking to see what models would work for Triplicity. And there was a lot out there, and I stumbled upon both of these beautiful women on Instagram and reached out and asked if they would like to model for our new clothing brand Triplicity, and they both were so down to do it. So thank you to Morgan and Hillary. You guys were amazing. For a lot of e-commerce photo shoots, what happens is people will pin the clothes on the model so that it looks a certain way. And the whole point of this is clothing brands and designers, like they really want their clothes to look as, flattering as possible on the model. And so a lot of times in order to achieve that, they will have to pin it down or clamp it in a certain way in order to achieve that. And I was just so determined to not have to do that. So what I did was I added adjustable waist tabs to most of our designs, just so that we have adjustable sizing. You can make it tighter, you can make it looser. And because of that, we did not have to pin any of the clothes. And I also feel like we really nailed the fit on everything. So every single piece that each of these models wore was not pinned or clamped whatsoever, which I feel like is a huge testament to how the clothes actually fit and how they were designed. By this point, I feel like everybody's probably becoming so exhausting because it was hours and hours and hours of work and time. And we did break for lunch for like, I think it was a half an hour, and that was a much needed break. And then we got right back to it and finished shooting. And once we finished shooting, we had to spend some time breaking the entire set down, packing away all the clothes. The photographer had to break down all of his equipment. We had to roll up the paper and just put everything away exactly as we found it. And then we were done. And we had such a great experience. It was a very long day, but very productive. Check out Triplicity at triplicity.nyc.